Today I'll be talking about my high school experience, and I think that'd be interesting. So, I went to an early college in a pretty small county where there's only two high schools in the whole county, and there's only one middle school. There are a few more elementary schools, but there's only one middle school, so everybody goes to the same middle school. But anyway, um, with the two high schools, one of them have at one point was located in a different town. But recently, and by recently I mean like 7 years ago, almost a decade, makes me feel really old. They built a new building, so that they moved over there, and I was one of the first. If no, I was the first. I don't know why I say one of the. We were the first freshmen to go into the new building. Um, we didn't even get a tour because they were still building it, I think, or they just hadn't finished, or they never scheduled it to where we could go over for some reason. We got a tour of the high school though. Um, but one of the things is that it didn't come with a cafeteria. You might be asking, like, well, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna get food? Well, the new building was built right in front of the high school, so we had to take a bus for like 10 seconds, not really, but it might as well have been 10 seconds, I think. It's not very far, up to the high school, and then go bang on the doors outside to wait for someone to let us in. Now, sometimes the doors would be unlocked, and this was towards the bus lot that no one should really be in but the buses. So it was kind of weird that sometimes the doors would be unlocked, but most of the time they'd be locked, and we'd be stuck out there. And sometimes, during the winter, whoo, okay, people would say it's not cold, but it's chilly. It's cold enough to me, um, you know, where, it's getting down to freeze, and maybe there's even there could have been snow outside, but there wasn't any snow because it wasn't humid enough, but it was certainly cold, and we're all standing out there like a whole school. Well, technically just the first few grades, because most of the other grades are off at a different place, but we'll talk about that later. But so you got like basically the whole school standing out there with some teachers, banging on the doors, waiting for the other teachers to walk around the whole high school to go and open the door. And we see a teacher, and we're like, yeah, come on. And they look at us, and then they keep walking. Like, excuse me? Ma'am, let all them kids in. We were freezing. Oh, it was so cold, and we were freezing and hungry, too. But in some ways I kind of understand. That's when we learned that not only did the high school students not like us, but neither did the teachers. And it wasn't until I got much older, I wouldn't say much, much older, till I realized that it's because they thought that we were stealing all the smart kids, or all the good kids and all the funding. Which, I mean, they're not exactly wrong. So I guess they have the right to feel that way.